Hello friends, welcome to Pega. Today we will be going through the Kafka, like Kafka topics, dataset, data flow. So we will learn something about them. The actual real use case for this is, for suppose um, our application is getting the records input cases, case requests from different sources of applications. So we get from different applications daily to create the cases in our application. That means if in case if we get the hundred millions of records, like how to handle huge volume of records, how to handle the huge data records. So in that scenario, we can use the Kafka topics, and with the help of dataset and data flows are very really powerful to handle the high volume of records. Okay, so how it works. So for that, first of all, we have different consuming applications. Application 1, application 2, they all are calling our application to create our application is application 1. Okay, so if they call our, so if for suppose if you provide any service rest, they can call our service to create the case in our application, right? But how much volume it can handle? Because if we have for suppose 20 nodes, 20 servers are there, so how much volume we can handle is depending on the service package and the nodes volume, right? Like, and also how many batch nodes that we have, depending on that we can handle the volume. But if definitely 20 nodes, 20 servers cannot handle the millions of records. So for that, we need to keep one middle layer where the calling applications can insert the records, put it here in the middle, and the consuming, like the serving application, they can take from in this queue and process those requests. So for that, earlier we were having the queues, MQs and all. Now it is the Kafka topic. Okay, Kafka topic is nothing but like we can consider it like a topic or queue. We have a queue here, and they insert the queue into this queues topics, and we the application which is serving or receiving them, they it will receive the records from the queue, and we process the records. Okay, and the topic here, the topic can have the partitions. In Pega by default we will have the 20 partitions. For suppose if you open any in the Tomcat Kafka data, we can see the different of topics, Kafka topics. These are out of the box created ones. Whenever we create any queue processor, for suppose sample queue processor, if you create the sample queue processor, it creates one Kafka topic related to it, because queue processor is like at the back end, like it data flows are running on these Kafka topics, right? So, so topics are nothing but like a queues. Okay, and how to integrate with the topic? We have the in Pega we have data set which can be connected to the topic. Okay, and data set. How can we make it real time? We have the data flows. Okay, data flows real time. They keep on the data flow source is data set. Data set is connected to the topic, and data flows in the real time. It keep on checking the topics queue, and if whenever any new message comes into the topic, it receives through the dataset and process it. We will see how it happens, everything. So in order to implement this one, first step is we need to create the Kafka rule. Second is we need to create the dataset for the Kafka topic. Okay, first Kafka rule is to connect to the Kafka servers. Okay, let's see. Now in my local machine, we have already Kafka topics present, right? So I have taken the Kafka server details. We can create the, so let's go to the records and sysadmin Kafka. Let's create one Kafka rule. I'm giving it like a create cases. For suppose we have one sample enroll cases. Okay, this is the Kafka and add host and port number I have taken from my local host server configuration. Save it. That's it. Now, when I click on test connectivity, connection is established. Now my application is connected to the Kafka servers. The second thing is we need to create the data set. For the sample QP, we have seen the sample QP right here. For the sample QP topic, Kafka topic, we can create one data set. Create and give the name as a enroll cases data set. Yes. Okay. Here it is not database table. It is a Kafka stream. Okay. And we'll be creating enroll cases. So I'm giving the enroll here. See, normally we don't give the our class group or our case type classes here. We give our integration class and we give our integration rule set as it is a integrating with the other applications, right? So we give them, but for now I'm giving my work class here. If you see Kafka configuration instance, we have created enroll cases Kafka instance. Test connectivity, yes, connectivity is done. Either we can create a new topic or select from the list. Topic is nothing but like a queues, different queues. When I select from list, we can see different topics from the out of the box created ones. I would like to take the sample QP as my topic, and we need to give q a key. This key will be used for partitions. That means based on the value here we can give some unique key or some other one, not first name, maybe like ID or something. When we give this one, based on the values from this, it will distribute the records to the different partitions like sample QP1 to 20 partitions. And whenever it receives back the same similar request, it just uses the same partitions. Right. Now, message values, data format is JSON. Okay. That's it for now. Now, data set is ready. Okay. Data set is nothing but like a, it's a connected to topics, Kafka topics connected rule. Okay. Now, um, using this data set, we either insert the records into the topics or we can read the records from the topics. Okay. First, we will see how to insert the records into this data topics, Kafka topics. So I'm going to create one activity. I'll give the name as a Kafka or enroll cache push to Kafka something. Okay, create and open. For now, I'll be hard coding the values for testing purpose. So what values do we have for this enrollment? Let me see. New enroll. Okay, and let me open the enroll case type. Okay, it is assigned to them. Configure. Okay, we have three properties here: first name, last name, and phone. Okay, not first name, last name, phone. Okay. First name one, something like last name one, some phone number like this. And the second step is how to call the dataset. For calling the dataset, we have the method called dataset execute. Okay. For executing the dataset, we have the method in activity dataset execute. For data flow, we have the data flow is execute. Now, dataset name is enroll KSS Operation is it either browse or save? It's save. I want to save the step page. For suppose step page, if I for suppose if I give like a tempo work PG and something like this. Okay, if I give like temp work page here, the same work page here, save. Okay, now the values will be first name one, last name one, and these values will be added to this clipboard page, and this page will be converted to the JSON, and that JSON will be inserted into the Kafka topic which is associated with this data set. Okay, let me run it. Run. Okay, successfully completed. Now let's go back here, and if you see here, Q sample QP16 is has a record. When I open this text one, we can see here, if you see here, first name one, last name one, and the phone number. We received the request into this topic. Okay. Now, for suppose if I'd like to browse the records using the dataset, we can do the same thing using the dataset browse also. Here, for that also, dataset execute is the method, and here the dataset we need to give the enroll cases DP, give browse option here, and 10 record 10 like stop browsing after 10 seconds, maximum number of records to read are 50, store results in here we need to give the page list page list page list like a page list property. So now I have not given the page list property, but let me see here what happens. Click run. Now it is trying to browse the records. Okay, and we have one more option to execute it. Dataset, when we go to actions and here when we click on run, okay, on the standard thread, okay, now operation as browse operation and give the operation result, click run. Here also it will give the same results. Okay, and yeah, it is successfully completed. Now let's open the clipboard, and it is going to be temp workspace. Double click. Okay, it has not written the results, but yeah, we can see like we can run here, and we get the results. Now this is for testing purpose. Like if you see here, we have three results. This is the last one that we have created just now. Okay, and before this one, I just for testing purpose I have inserted two other records also. Now coming to the real-time scenario, we need to create a uh, data flow to consume the records. Okay, so data flows are records in the data model. We have the data flow. Let's create one data flow. Data flow is just similar to looking like a our normal flow. Enroll cases df. Okay, something I'm giving like this. I'll take the same class like that is it created. So this is the data flow. Initially, whenever we create the data flow, it will be looking like this one. The starting one, we call it like a source. This is like a destination. So let's open the source. What is the source of this for this data flow? It can be a data flow. Abstract means nothing. Empty input. It can be data flow, another data flow, or it can be a data set, or it can have the report definition. Using these three inputs, it can take the data as source. Now, our requirement to use the data set. Okay, read existing and create and new records. Normally, we give this option like only read new records. Okay, and click submit. Now, source is set. Source is source for this data flow is the Kafka topic, which is associated to the data set, and data set is given here. So, whenever any new record inserted to the topic, Kafka topic, that will be pulled here. Now, from here, it is coming to this shape. Before that, if you want to put any filters, we can put the filters. We can run the data transform, and we can run the activity also. Okay. Now, simply, I'm not going to that details. Here, this is the destination. In destination also, it is abstract means nothing. Here, we can create one activity, or we can create the case. If we select the case here, the case types will come here, like the enroll case types and all will come. Or we can give these details to another data flow, or we can give these details to another data set also. Okay, it is very flexible to do lot of operations. Now I would like to go for the activity. Okay, in activity we have like create enroll case batch. I have already created one activity using which we can create the cases. So service add work object, SVC add work object is the one out of the box activity. We can use with the use of this activity. If we give the py start case as flow type and the workspace as py workspace, okay, py workspace is nothing but like a work control. Using this activity, we can create the cases. Now I'm going to call this activity, submit and save. And also how to pass the data from this to the case. How we can pass is I am taking this step page is the data flow shaped step page, and that contain the step page contains the first name, last name, and phone. This information, the same information I am putting onto a one temporary work page, and in the py default rule, I'll be using the same temp page to set onto the this, like for suppose last name and first phone. Okay, save. Okay, now data flow is ready. Okay, data flow, how to run the data flow. Now this is a data set, is a Kafka stream data set, so we can run real time, means it keep on running and waiting for the records to insert into the Kafka topic, and then whenever the record come into the topic, then it takes and create the case. Okay, so for that we can either run here. When we click on run, we can configure the this data flow to run real time. Okay, and how many threads? This threads is a, like for suppose we have 20 partitions. If we have the 5 nodes, we can give the threads like 5 fours or 20. We can give 4 threads. As my personal edition, it is one node is there, one server is there, I can give the 20 threads. And this is the applies to class. and this is the data flow name. This is the access group using which this data flow can run, and this is either background processing, batch or fetch or real time. It's a real time, so I'm using the real time node classification, real time node, and priority is a medium. Okay, and even we can give the pre-processing and post-processing details, but it is when we run it here, this will be keep on running. Okay, there will be no stop until we stop it manually. I'm going to click on run. Before running it, I will open the enrollment. We can see here we have the 7 cases already. Now I'm going to click run. Let's see how many cases will be created. Now this data flow is getting initialized and it's getting run. In progress, 13 seconds. Start time is this one, and the number of input records and successfully processed records are 0. Why it is not creating the cases for the already created one? Because we gave it whenever we create any new records, those records only will be taken here. So for testing purpose, I am going to insert some records into the data set. This time I will give like a 12, 12, something like this. And I'm going to click on run. So using this test activity, I manually inserted one record into the topic. Okay, so that is in the 9 sample QP9 topic, and when we go here and refresh, see, eighth record is inserted. Eighth case is created. Let's open. See, FN12. This way, parallelly 20 runs. Like we have the 20 threads. Multi-threading happens using this data flow because we gave it like a 20 threads. Okay, let's see here. One record is processed successfully. Yeah, this is how we can create the cases using the Kafka dataset and DataFlow path. For suppose, okay, in our next video, we can put one in the middle we can put one data set data table. In the data table we can put the inserts, we can insert the records into the data table, and once we can run the data flow in batch mode. Now it is running, keep on running, right? Until I stop it, it will keep on running. So I can create one more case here, and let me run. No, let me change it to, for suppose 14, 14, save, and I see. And when we come here, ninth one is created with the 14 details. Okay. Now batch mode. This data flow is real time, running in the background. Whenever we receive any record into the topic records, this time it was in 11th one. So those records will be read and create the cases by this data flow. This is real time data flow, keep on running. How can we run the data flow in batch mode? We will see in our next video. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, friends.